She outlived 2 presidents and 3 iPhones. In a small house in Austin, Texas, there lived a cat named Creme Puff. She lived to 38 years old. 38. That's the human equivalent of 170 years. When she passed away in 2005, she had already outlived most of our grandparents. My whole life, I heard the same thing over and over. Cats live 10 years, maybe 15, then the heart just gives out. That's nature. But recently, I learned something that stopped me dead in my tracks. Something that forced me to rethink everything I knew about my own cats. Scientists don't see Creme Puff as a freak of nature anymore. They see her as a blueprint, a manual, a roadmap. Right now, in the labs at Princeton and Cornell, there is a quiet revolution happening. And if you share your home with a cat, especially if you're over 40, what I'm about to tell you could change everything. Today, I'm walking you through 6 signs hiding inside your cat's biology. 6 scientific discoveries that are rewriting the rule book. From the $2 million spent on an allergy spray to the reason your cat sees things you and I never will. But pay close attention to sign 6, because what I found there made me sit back with my mouth hanging wide open. Stay with me until the end. I promise it is worth it. Welcome back to House Cat Heart. Let's get into it. Sign 1. Your cat is living in a parallel universe. Here's a question almost nobody thinks to ask. What if your cat does not see your house the way you do? At all. Researchers have uncovered something astonishing. Cats can see into the ultraviolet spectrum. That means they pick up a slice of light that is completely invisible to us. To you, it's just a plain wall. To your cat, that wall is a glowing map. Picture this: trails of mice and insects lighting up under UV, like neon signs outside a Las Vegas nightclub. Dust particles in the air shimmering like tiny galaxies. A patch of floor that looks empty to you? For your cat, it's a whole detective novel. So the next time your cat is staring at nothing in the corner of the room, she isn't being weird. She is running a security sweep. It is not eccentricity. It is an evolutionary radar. And here is where it ties directly to a longer life. When your cat gets to use that instinct, when she can survey her territory from up high, her brain stays sharp and her stress levels drop. Chronic stress in cats is a silent killer. It breaks down the immune system quietly over the course of years. So one of the simplest things you can do, starting today, is give your cat vertical space. A shelf by the window, a tall cat tree, a spot where she can look out over her entire kingdom. That is not a luxury. That is medicine. Sign 2. The Cat Ozempic revolution nobody is talking about. Let me ask you something honestly. Is your cat just a little fluffier than your vet would like? If you just smiled, you are not alone. More than 50% of house cats in the United States are carrying extra weight. We've gotten used to thinking a chunky cat is a well-loved cat, but the new science says otherwise. And it's uncomfortable. The Cornell Feline Health Center recently asked the question that shook the entire pet world. Do our cats need an Ozempic of their own? And the answer came back, yes. Here is why. Obesity in cats triggers the exact same metabolic catastrophes we see in people. Type 2 diabetes, heart disease, painful arthritis. A cat who struggles to jump off the couch is not a lazy cat. that is a cat in pain. But here is what really blew my mind. Scientists have connected your cat's weight directly to her eyesight. Behind every cat's eye, there is something called the tapetum lucidum. It is a reflective layer, like a tiny mirror, that lets cats see in near total darkness. At a healthy weight, that mirror works at full power. Your cat is literally recycling light. A living night vision scope. When the weight is right, reactions get sharper, the brain stays active, and the cat lives longer. The new GLP-1 therapies for cats are not on the mass market yet, but they exist. And while we wait, there is something you can do right now. Do not just ask your vet about feeding less. Ask about a feeding strategy. That difference is huge. Sign 3. $2 million against allergies, and why it is saving cat lives. Here is a number that stopped me cold. Around 20% of cats surrendered to U.S. shelters are given up because of allergies, either the owners or a family member's. 1 in 5. Over a runny nose and some itchy eyes. 2 scientists at Princeton decided to end this. They spent over $2 million and years of their lives hunting for an answer. And they actually found it. The villain is a tiny protein called FELD1. It lives in your cat's saliva. Every time she grooms herself, she spreads that protein all over her coat. When she rubs up against you, she hands it right over. That is what makes people sneeze, tear up, and eventually give away their best friend. The new technology is a simple spray you apply to the cat's fur. It neutralizes FELD1 right there on the spot. No harm to the cat. No antihistamines. No injections. Just a spray. So why am I telling you this on a longevity video? Because stability is a fundamental biological need. A cat who stays in one home with one person for 20 years has a dramatically lower cortisol level than a cat who is passed around, returned, rehomed. Stress kills. Attachment heals. This technology isn't just a convenience. It is literally keeping cat families together. Sign 4. Your cat hears what your machines cannot. Here's the part where I'm going to spook you just a little. But I promise, it's scientific spooking. Cats can hear infrasound. That is sound at a frequency so low it lives below the threshold of human hearing. We do not hear it. Even most of our instruments miss it. But cats? Cats hear it loud and clear. Documented fact, cats have been observed pacing, hiding, acting agitated hours before earthquakes, before hurricanes, before volcanic eruptions. They feel the earth trembling long before that trembling ever becomes visible to us. Now imagine this for a second. Living in a world where you constantly hear the low, steady hum of the planet itself, where every incoming storm sounds like distant thunder inside your bones, where your own house is never truly quiet. That is exactly why every single cat needs what I call a silence zone. Not just a soft bed, but an actual place with no vibrations, no electronic buzz, where her nervous system can finally exhale. For a long life, your cat needs more than good food and a good vet. She needs peace. Sign 5. 3 minutes a day, and your cat will not age. Did you know that cats can get dementia? Veterinary journals call it cognitive dysfunction syndrome. The symptoms are disorientation, broken sleep, wandering at night. a sudden, heartbreaking disconnect from the person they love. It is real, and it's far more common than most of us realize. But here is the good news. The brain, just like a muscle, can be trained. Clinical behaviorists keep finding the exact same result. 3 minutes of real mental engagement per day works wonders. Not an hour, not even 20 minutes. 3 minutes. Clicker training, teaching your cat to touch a target on cue, or simple food puzzles where the cat has to hunt for her own kibble. This is not entertainment. This is neurobiological therapy. When your cat moves through the sequence, stalk, chase, pounce, eat, even with a toy, even pretending, her brain is laying down fresh neural pathways. She stays sharp. An empty day is an empty mind. An active day is an active mind. A cat who thinks is a cat who lives longer. Sign 6. The big one. Your cat can sense the Earth's magnetic field. This is the one I made you wait for. I promised, now I deliver. The most recent research is proposing something that almost sounds like fiction. Cats may have magnetoreception. That means they physically feel the magnetic field of our planet. And suddenly, so many things make sense. All those unbelievable stories, cats finding their way home across hundreds of miles of unfamiliar terrain, cats who tracked down owners who moved to another city. They are literally navigating by Earth's compass, built into every cell of their bodies. So the next time your cat is sitting perfectly still, staring at absolutely nothing, maybe she is just quietly syncing up with the planet. Think about that next time you catch her in the act. But here is where it gets complicated. Our modern homes are cages of electromagnetic noise. Wi-Fi routers, smart TVs, smart plugs, microwaves. That entire invisible web may be drowning out your cat's internal compass. Scientists call it electrosmog, electromagnetic pollution. And for a cat whose navigation system is tuned to the quiet signal of the Earth itself, it is like trying to hear a whisper in the middle of a rock concert. The practical fix? One corner in your home with minimal electronics. A spot where your cat can reset. A low-tech refuge. It might sound a little strange, but in the context of everything we have learned today, it makes perfect sense. The final sign. What no textbook will ever tell you. I can talk about GLP-1 therapies and ultraviolet maps all day long, but at the end of every single day, there is one thing, and without it, none of the rest matters. A University of Oregon study found something remarkable. 64% of cats bond with their humans the same way babies bond with their mothers. 64%. Your cat is not just an animal who happens to live in your house. She chose you as her safe place in this entire world. When your cat looks at you and gives you a slow, lazy blink, that is not just a cute habit. That is an eye kiss, a language that measurably lowers blood pressure, yours and hers. A cat who is loved lives longer. That is not poetry. That is physiology. So, which of these 6 signs surprised you the most? Does your cat have a silence zone in your home? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and some of your stories inspire entire future videos. If you want your cat to make it to 25, do not start with expensive supplements. Start with a slow blink. Right now, go find your cat and look her in the eye. I'm House Cat Heart, and I will see you in the next one.